by a tribe called Quest Plays, and I think of you, and how you had a hamster called Hercules. Old books tar the corridor, while the smell of Italian tomato sauce and newly sanded floorboards reaches out and hugs me. Dad and Fliss discuss what the greatest Christmas film of all time is. 12 cup of tea and open green door, and I stand at the end of my drive, all quilted blue, grey beanie and brown curls. Identical bungalows shelter under a sheet of darkness, and I focus as though looking down a fisheye lens on a fox, and it sees straight through me. No dough and still living at home. The definition of your character defined by the weight across your shoulders.
I enter through the well-worn door, and as I watch the air get physically heavier for carrying so many voices, my shoulders are weighed down by a past not forgotten. So many faces I don't want to see and that don't want to see me, so I weep. Strategically dodging left and right, keeping polite conversation to a minimum, noticing that I know every barman. And as I approach the well-worn booth I've been aiming for, I noticed the cheap, beer-coated red velvet that I picked away until the wood underneath was revealed. It took a while.
Rooftop. Pair of Super Robo Adidas mid-tops. Half boy, half Optimus Prime. I tap my heels 3 times, and I glide over a neighbourhood. When I look down, it looks like a Lego town. While in homes, aeroplane-shaped spoons miss babies' mouths as crowds gather to watch me take on the Hobgoblin, Bane, and my ex-manager Dave. Hobgoblin goes off and gets a satellite, while Bane and Dave set me up for the pile drive into it, and I spin out of it, and use my Super Robo gloves to put a Dragon Ball punch, and I deck them. I mean properly knock them out. And then I wake up, and I'm leant against the bus stop.
I remember the first time I went to a forest today. I wasn't really alone and it wasn't really a forest. I just drifted away from the group that came. As a kid from the city, the least I could say was it was mesmerising. I looked up and I could see the sky and the sun seeped in through the leaves and the wind made a sound that I could have swore it spoke. And I saw an oak tree. Now the only reason I know it was an oak tree is because the teacher showed us a picture in the previous week. I knew I had to climb it. But see, I'd never climbed a tree that high before. Pint? No, just water. The disappointment was obvious. Silence, but the comfortable kind with friends you know you don't have to impress. We spoke of things that mattered enough to mention. Things of intention, talking of direction and how we used to get detention for giggling in Miss Hyson's class. How our paths might meet again. We sat close, but far enough apart to assess the situation. His shoulders straight and mine hunched over. He rubbed his well-worn hands together on the table. They were the kind of hands that could build things. In the right time or place he could have built things, and I always told him he was destined to build things. I said cities and towns will come from your hands. Now he builds flats just off the A3.
A lone graffiti artist paints the rain onto a sidewalk. His mislit silhouette gently sways. An old lady tries pushing a Tesco's trolley onto the bus. The driver's having none of it. But I see a lot of life in it.
I remember sitting at the bottom of it, assessing how tall it was and how best to take on the challenge. I made plans and I scrapped them. I made more and I adapted them because it could work. It could definitely work. So I began my ascent, taking on the Arctic and the Sahara. See, I was always an explorer.
The neon glow of the oven inn sits in between the darkness of disused factories. Your brain was a terrible thing to waste, I can hear Biggie say. And I feel mine crumbling. The man next to me tells me how once upon a time there was this land and everything ran on time. Die Hard. The greatest Christmas film of all time, definitely Die Hard. A few few minutes later and I step onto it. Make my way to the back row, place my feet on opposite seat and adjust headphones. See, if you look out the bus window at night, you can see in the dark. Behind the fairy-like streetlights and weather-beaten architecture. Beyond where dead stars swirl like Catherine wheels and aliens that look a little bit like E.T. exist. In the moment where a child realises that if you put strawberry bootlaces and water, it tastes good. Electro-relaxation by a Tribe Called Quest plays. And I think of you, and how you had a hamster called Hercules. Nice one, thank you ever so much. If you liked it, just come chat to us. Yeah.